a showcase of my Unreal Engine game project. It's a horror game, which I have yet to give it a good name for, but and I'm not really good at best level design for horror game puzzles or something, but the proof of concept here is going around and being able to collect objects in order to affect your status. Um, and so let me just show you what you can do as a player. There will be some things shown. Um, so at first, you're given the sky. It's dark, horror games. You don't want lighting. You can move around. The whole shaking is the head bobbing feature of just being, that whole like, oh, shaky-ish. And when you sprint, you can see in the green numbers, I do have sprint stamina um, that plays along. Uh, um, if you're able to hear that, there is some panting going along, and it is a sound bite. Um, if not, that just has to do with my program. Uh, but once you get out of breath and you stop, the stamina for your running goes. You can still walk, but it prevents you from walking underneath the zero. Um, Next functionality is when I press F, I have a flashlight. Um, the flashlight is directed mostly at the ground, but it's what I need. Just keeping in mind where things are. And also the blue is like the durability of the battery. And when it goes out, you see that um, Unreal decides to crash apparently because my there. Yep, Unreal does not like my recording studio. So please, this might crash every now and again. Please bear with me. I might have to do some post editing to get rid of that. So, I hope I don't get copyrighted for that. Anyway, I'll just get this out for editing. Go back to maps. So, where was I? I was at flashlight, getting depletion. I can move. I can even sprint with the flashlight on. About first, and then the flashlight runs out. And so around the game, you find these little containers. Right? You can't see them because but you can collect them. Should be gone. Let me get the view of the star so I can see the ground. Yeah, gone. And I can hit I to insert it, and the flashlight turns back on. Now I can't grab more of these batteries until the flashlight gets out, but that is fine. So let us just wait for a bit. Let's go. We'll turn the flashlight off. Grab that, and I know where the last battery is. Give me a moment as my computer decides to. So you will be trying to interact and find other objects like this. These are battery links. Did I collect that? Should have collected that. Nope, I was not in the hitbox. Stand over. Yep, saw it disappear. Now I can insert it. Turn the flashlight on. Now, I collected two of these battery packs. So let's see what happens when the flashlight runs out of batteries. There are no more other battery packs, battery-like things out in the world. But since I've got two of them, I can insert the second one and use that. And still be able to run about. Now, when I make a full game, I'll be adding a lot more. I can add different levels of just like, so like this is going to be like a forest scene where you start out and try and find your way to like a hangar. But that's other things. This is more of a proof of concept, a hello world of introducing things. Let me show you a little bit about how being able to interact with objects works. So if you go to Open Level Blueprints, it opens up this second screen, if my computer would please run. Um, and you see a bunch of these sort of copied and pasted, uh, sorry, event graphs. Sorry, how to find the correct words, where we have to see what sort of action we're being called. So recharge is connected to the R button, and then we see what's it linking to, and then we compare all these things, and with that we go to casting it to the third person and be able to, like, what is the third person? Oh, that's the actual character, and then we affect the actual, and then we affect some things. We see if we have enough storage for the battery, and then we get rid of the actual item. And that's really how you interact with objects on the level. You go into the level blueprint. Now, there's a lot of things that at the level shouldn't, just for simplicity reasons, handle. One, just more of like how the battery pack goes. Just more. We see like, oh, if you're destroyed, we need to go to the character, add, and then add it to its link capacity. And so it looks at our player character. Player character has a lot of things going on with it. One, if you look at viewpoint, it has a bunch of spotlight. Has its like spotlight source and its camera angle kind of thing, all set up to be perfectly first person. But also in the event graph, this running abilities, yes. So when we go through the run, this allows us to run. We can change our character movement depending on what buttons we press, and this allows for different stamina of the running. It goes, checks it out, adds minuses compared to, depending on what sort of condition we're at, setting certain variables to true or false, and then when we get down a certain level, we make the exhaustion sound, and it just loops. It is a little delay loop for a bit. Pardon me. Down here, I haven't labeled it, but this is for the flashlight decay. So like when you have your flashlight on, it goes through the ticks and then it takes out from the flashlight's battery stamina, to be honest. This part was from a old method when I was like, oh, you need to like spam a key in order to charge your flashlight up. But I didn't think that was reasonable. I mean, yeah, you can have those shaking cameras, but shaking flashlights to recharge, but it's not really what we want. This looks at more of this deals with the head bob thing, because as a default class that just affects is this head bob thing. Nothing's really in any of like the viewport or the flowchart stuff, event graph. Sorry, it was mostly to deal with like, oh, we need to make it a oscillation. We need to change how it waves and who it connects to, that stuff. But this actually affects the players. Like, oh, you're running, make the bob more pronounced, and this is and it's the same here, where like, oh, this is the walking head bob stuff, but this is the logic for the sprinting. And again, this is the logic for when the player comes in contact with like the battery packs. It just always look like, oh, torch is out. It's out of power juice. We don't have anything. And then whenever it's inserted, when we ever call that capacity, we can set it equal to the max power. And so that's all it does. We even print a stream, but that's only for like development only. Still figuring out how to do like little stamina bars and little user interfaces. But that's mostly it. This shows the lighting. And then with level buildings, all these different assets came from the Unreal libraries for free things of the month. So these were free to download for the month of February. and I've been using them. I'm still trying to be creative. I have also, just to let you know, tried different ways of making these levels and maps. Like with this one, I tried using the terraforming or painting method, and it severely lagged my computer and and it's probably going to crash because of it now. Um, yeah, it just it's too slow. I'm working on a MacBook Air, and it doesn't have enough power to handle all these fancy like world building mechanics. Um, so I've been trying to just stick to self-made things, trying to make it as simple as possible for my poor little computer to run. Um, because I can't. So all these different modes of like, add foliage and you just paint the foliage on, or create landscapes, really takes a toll on my computer. You can do that. So for those who have a strong tower and not a laptop, go for it. I would totally recommend adding foliage via that way because it makes things so much simpler and you can make a beautiful background, beautiful level and design. There are some things that you should just place manually, but that's it. And so um, that ends my recording. So I hope you this has been beneficial to you. Um, please let me know if there are like level designs I can do because all I have currently are for Winter Forest and for Hangar assets. Perfect, it'd be good. But other than that, have a nice day.